Hello, and welcome to the Sacred Self-Love Lunch Break with me, Diana, your Sacred Self-Love Coach. Happy Tuesday, and as of yesterday morning at 3:30ish a.m., happy solstice. Up here in the Northern Hemisphere, it is summer solstice with a lot of reasons to celebrate because it is absolutely beautiful out there, beautiful summer. We had a weird cold snap the past few days, but summer is back today and it's nice and sunny, and I have never seen so many flowers as you see in England at this time of year, late spring, early summer. It is just mind blowing. There are flowers of every single color, size, shape, height you can imagine, and they're everywhere. So it's amazing. It's really, really beautiful. Comes with another side effect, and that is a very, very high pollen count, which affects some people really, really badly. Um, can be quite severe, in fact. But lucky me, I have escaped that. I struggled a bit earlier on in the season with apparently tree pollen, which I didn't know about at all. But not so bad at the moment. At the moment, I'm just enjoying this beautiful, beautiful summer. So that's what I want to talk about today, summer solstice. Summer solstice always reminds me of ritual. It reminds me of the rituals of celebration. So many cultures all over the world celebrate this time of year for different reasons and in different ways. But there's kind of a common thread. So although there are different sort of reasons attached to it or different meanings attached to this time of year, the reason is really seems to be about life and about the bounty of being alive. The fact that there's so much light this time. It's the longest day of the year. There are, as I say, different meanings attached to that and different ways of celebrating, but there are definite rituals of celebration. And that brings me to the whole concept around ritual. So rituals, as human beings, we know how to create ritual, and we do it for so many reasons. The one is celebration, as I mentioned. So there's the rituals of celebration, which are just wonderful. And you can think of, there are so many different rituals in different cultures to celebrate different things. Celebrating the birth of a child, celebrating marriage, celebrating our own birthday, um, celebrating summer, the longest day, the day with the most light of the year. There are different reasons, we find reasons to celebrate, and then we find ways of attaching ritual to those celebrations. How wonderful. There are other reasons for ritual. We create rituals with intention to create a specific outcome. We create rituals in order to commemorate. If you think of the fact that we have rituals around death, that we want to remember somebody, so we create rituals around their passing over, to commemorate new things or things coming to an end. An example is like opening a new building, or to commemorate efforts made during tough times. For example, the way we commemorate wartime heroes. And we create rituals around this. Like in the UK here, in England, the time of the year when we celebrate those war heroes, and it's with the wearing of poppies and putting wreaths of poppies around. And so that's another ritual, a ritual around commemorating and holding memories. That's a big one. So rituals to remember, things that we hold sacred and dear to us, that we want to remember. We want to make sure that it doesn't get forgotten because of time, that we find a way to almost embalm something and keep it forever by creating a ritual around it. What has been a really, really hot topic for me lately with all of my clients is finding the balance between ritual and routine, because so often we can be really, really bound by routine. Um, Routine creates safety for us. It makes us feel like everything's going to be okay when everything seems to look the same every day. So um, it might be the case of doing the same thing every single day. And what happens then is you tend to feel safe. One feels a little bit of safety because everything looks the same. the fact is, nothing is ever the same. But by creating routine, we as humans create a sense of safety for ourselves and a sense of structure. And what I would like to encourage you at this summer solstice, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, it'll be your winter solstice, so it would have been your longest night, I think last night, and or the night before. And so, but it is a time where there's a turning. So we're going from one phase into another. And what I'd like to encourage you to consider today is trading your routine up for ritual, or looking at your routine and thinking of tasks that you do as routine and seeing how you can turn those into rituals rather than routine. And I'll just give you some examples. Can be a simple thing, as simple as making your bed every day. So you might make your bed every single day out of routine. So years and years and years ago, your mom or your dad or military service, somewhere along the line, you might have been convinced that making your bed every day is the way to go. And at some point, you just took it on as a routine. And so now what you do is you get up and you just make the bed and you move on with the day. In order to bring more mindfulness, more conscious living, more living on purpose into your life, you could take that simple routine act that you do every single day at more or less the same time, and you could ritualize it. The way to do that is to actually get completely present in the moment of doing it. So yes, you're still up at round about the same time every day. You're still making your bed, which is something that you enjoy. But what you now do by ritualizing it is you drop yourself into that action, into that moment, and you become fully present. So an example, I love creating ritual out of my routine. And for me, making my bed is a ritual. I like to shake off the night, because during the night I've slept off the previous day. So when I'm shaking the sheets and shaking that duvet and puffing those pillows, I see it in my mind's eye as shaking off what has gone before. If I need it, it will have metabolized into my soul, into my being, into the fiber of who I am. And if I don't need it, it's getting shaken off as I shake off the sheets I make the bed and I drape it. And then I move into thinking of how my bed is my resting place every day. It's a place where I get to reset and revive my physical body and my mind and my emotional body. It's a place where while I'm resting and resetting and reviving, my soul can go out and play, um, however it wants to. And so as I'm making the bed, I'm preparing that space in awareness for when I return to it. And so my ritual it's me creating a sacred space for myself to return to later, after a day of, of activity, after a day of commitment to my goals, after a day of inspired action and productivity, and maybe resting and not productivity, maybe daydreaming, after whatever I decide to put my energy into that day, that this will be the sacred space that I return to. And so I make the space with that intention. So as I'm smoothing the sheets out, as I'm settling that duvet over the bed and arranging the pillows, that's the intention. And then I always step back and I look at it and I smile and I'm grateful. And I literally say, thank you. Thank you for this beautiful bedroom. Thank you for this comfortable bed. Thank you for my amazing pillows and my gorgeous high thread count cotton bed linen. And for me, that literally takes 2 minutes. You know how long it takes to make a bed? 2 to 3 minutes. It's a quickie. But because I've put ritual into it and I've brought myself into it and I've brought a sense of sacred self-love into the action, it becomes not a mindless routine habit, but it becomes a mindful everyday ritual. And that completely shifts the tone of the habit, because it's still a habit, it's still something that I have chosen to do every single day and that I am doing every single day. But the tone that goes into creating a ritual of it and infusing it with sacred self-love shifts everything. And what it does is, by being completely present in that moment, it calms my mind. It removes the chance of anxiety building up. It removes the flighty thinking from happening, where your thoughts are just bouncing over from one thing to another, over a million different thoughts. And it brings me into the moment, fully present. Um, and there's nothing that can replace being fully present in every moment. And then what I try and do is I try and ritualize just about everything that I do. So from making a cup of tea, I'll be mindful of the cup that I choose. I'll be mindful as I put the tea bag in. I'll be mindful as I pour the water over and watch as that hot water just releases all of that beautiful tea, fragrant tea out of the loose tea that's in the tea bag. Um, the first time this level of mindfulness I became aware of this level of mindfulness was at a meditation retreat that I did at the Buddhist temple in Bronkhorstspruit in South Africa. And I've spoken about it before because one of the meditations was a tea making meditation. And I was so blown away at the concept of it. First of all, I was like, tea making meditation, what is that even? And then actually experiencing it and learning that meditation truly is mindfulness, deep mindfulness. It's a word that I use, but I use it in awareness because it implies mind, and I like to say that by meditating, we actually quiet the body, the mind, and the emotion in order to allow the soul to take the primary seat and to have the soul experience. So I use the word mindfulness in awareness of the fact that in meditation, I like to think that the mind actually becomes quiet, or as quiet as it can be, because let's admit the human mind is a creature with a lot of energy. Mine certainly is. So yeah, that I got so present and so conscious in that moment of making tea, in that meditation, and went into that quiet space, even with the number of times that we were told to stir the tea and in which direction, and to think about the china that we were drinking out of. It was these beautiful Chinese, I think more like pottery than china. They were a little bit rougher and beautiful cups on saucers and gorgeous matching teapots, and just going through this whole ritual that brought me into a space of meditation. And that was what the nun who was teaching us about the ritual tried to get across, and successfully so in my case. I just took it and I loved it, and I've been practicing that type of meditation ritual in my daily life since then. Obviously some days with more success than others, and I can truly say that when I get it right, when I am ritualizing my routine, I find myself in a space where I'm fully connected, first of all, to my body, secondly, to my thoughts, to my mind, thirdly, to my emotions. And I know what's going on in all those different centers of who I am. And what that does is it creates a greater presence of my being in my life, which means that everything that I set my mind to, everything that I set my energy to, everything that I set my emotion to, I have a greater impact. I'm able to do things with more precision. I am able to do things with more integrity. I'm able to do things in better timelines. And everything seems to just fall into place because I am aligned, because instead of just living in habit, I am living in awareness, and I've ritualized my routine. So that is my suggestion to you today, is to give thought to your routine. If you look at your routine, it tells you a lot about yourself. It can give you so much insight into where you are right now, because your routine holds your habits. So there is so much that all of us as human beings do every day, habitually. And what I'm suggesting today is to replace habit with ritual, replace routine with ritual. Ritualize your routine. Get really, really present, get really, really conscious, and see what comes up for you. See, I know for a fact, I was going to say I'm sure, but I know for a fact that we all have habits that we could do without, or that could take some shifting to serve us better. So ritualize your routine. See what habits come to the surface as questionable. Do they need to change? Do they need to be completely dismissed? And play with that. Play with being a better version of yourself. Play with making yourself worth a ritual rather than just a habitual routine. A ritualized routine in service of true, authentic, sacred self love. Give yourself that time, give yourself that attention, and love yourself. Love yourself a little bit more by ritualizing your routine. So that's it from me today. Thank you for joining me wherever you join from. I hope that you enjoy the rest of this day. Make the most of it. Add some ritual, and it's sure to work in your favor. And I really, really look forward to seeing you on Thursday for lunchtime. A reminder, this evening at 7 p.m. is the Sacred Sessions, the path to love, happiness, and success. So do join me. The link is on Eventbrite. The event is up on Eventbrite. It's also posted all over my social medias. And right after this, I will post the link at the bottom of this video everywhere as well, so that you can join me this evening for a beautiful, beautiful meditation. It is a really, really powerful session where I facilitate you connecting on a really deep level with your inner being, higher self, sacred self. And I look very much forward to seeing you there later. And I'll see you again on Thursday for our lunch break, our self-love lunch break. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day. Mwah. Ciao for now. Keep loving yourself.